Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to Jargon Free Help. This week I had two very useful emails, one from Sam and another one from Rav. Now Sam mentioned Spotify, which is a way of listening to music free online, and she wanted to know if I'd actually tried it. Well, I haven't looked at it because in the past you need an invitation to use it before you could actually install and use Spotify. It's an app that works on both Windows, Mac and Linux, and you can also get it for mobile devices like iPhones, Nokias and also Androids, although the mobiles you have to pay for. But you do get free access. You get about 20 hours a month of free access to, well, pretty much any music online, and all you have to do is install it and then search for it. One of the reasons that it's useful as well is because when you log in, it's actually using your online information. So any playlists, which are lists of songs that you set up, are also available on the other computer as well. So for example, I have a PC and a Mac, and it doesn't matter which one I go to, I get the same music. So it's very useful to use. We're going to also get on to Rav, who requested a tutorial, which is to do with Excel and putting drop-down lists in there, and we're going to take a look at that just a little bit later on. But right now, I just want to take a look at Spotify and what it does. Spotify is available at www.spotify.com. Get an account, you can download it. It might tell you need an invitation. Just go and click on Get Spotify once you've created the account, and you should be able to download it then. You can pay to get unlimited access and also music at a higher quality as well. But let's take a quick look now at actually how Spotify works. Well, this is Spotify, and it has actually picked up my iTunes library as well, so it's got all of that there, and I can use music from both my iTunes and also from my what I search for as well. And you can see it's popped up with an ad here. That's because it's free, so I'm just going to click on it to get rid of it. And you'll see it's got a list of my library items that it has picked up from iTunes, and on the side here it's got my folders as well and playlists, and you can see I can scroll down through this list and see my music. So if I want to find an artist or any piece of music, I can actually type it in. I'm going to put in Elton John. I'm just going to press enter, and you'll see that in the search pane down here I've got a whole load of Elton John songs. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a playlist, and I can do that by clicking on this little plus sign here. Choose new playlist, and I'm going to call it Elton John Plus because I might put other artists in there too. So I'm just going to scroll down and find some music here. So I'm just picking this one here. It's just to cut it and drop it in there. Now I left it too long and it's actually jumped onto the library. So what I'm going to do is go back to my search, back to the top here. I'm just going to choose another one here. So I'm just going to scroll down. And if I drop it on there fast enough, and it doesn't have to be lightning fast, it'll stay on the search that I've got. And I could just keep adding songs. So I'm going to search for someone else. Phil Collins. And I could take music from my list, and I could also take it for stuff I've found online. Just going to scroll down. I'm going to take this one here and add it in. So I'm going to select more than one here after a bit of scrolling around. I can hold down the control key, or if you've got a Mac, the command key, and click and drag it across. So if I click on the playlist now, I'm going to double click on it and it starts playing. So I can also move things around so that they're in a different order, and it automatically saves it, which is just great. And you can get any types of music. And it's very useful, and I could search for anything. I'm actually going to look for Beethoven. So you've actually got classical music as well. So there's loads on here. Really useful, should cover most of your needs. Try out the free version before you decide to go for the used one as well, and you can actually click it out to see here who the artist actually is. So actually a really useful one. As I said, you've only got 20 hours a month if you're using the free one, and you can see that by scrolling across and having a look at it here. So just keep an eye on that. Make sure you log out, because whilst you're logged in you are using up those 20 hours. So if you're not listening, shut it down. That will log you out. So playlists, don't forget, are stored online so you can use them anywhere you like. So that is Spotify. Very, very useful product, and it does give you free music. If you like music and you're buying all the time, you might want to consider this instead. If you want better quality, as I said, you've got to pay for it. Keep an eye on that 20 hours. And just one other thing to point out, Spotify is not available in all countries, but it is available in a number of them, and I'm sure that's going to grow as well. Now, this covers the app of the week. As I said, it's available on the iPhone, Android, and also on Nokia phones. Well, probably not all Nokia phones, but probably on the latest ones. And you can actually pay for that. You have to pay to use it on a mobile device. But if music is important to you, then it could be worthwhile. So check that out. And now on to this week's new tutorials. Well, this week I got contacted by a friend of mine, Rav. Known him for a very long time, and he wanted to know about using VLOOKUPs because he'd had a look at the tutorial, but he also wanted to know about using drop-down lists and using those in Excel as well. And that's a very handy one to have because you can select what you want from the list. It reduces the problems you might have with typos or people not knowing what to put in there, and you can also enter in data much quicker as well. So that's drop-down lists using validation in Excel. You can, as he's done, and I'm going to cover a tutorial on this soon, he's combined the VLOOKUP with the drop-down list, which is very clever. So good one. Keep them coming. Keep dropping me a line about things you want to know about, and I will answer them on the podcasts and tutorials just as quick as I can. Thanks for watching, and happy computing.